Hello guys, welcome back to this channel. In this video we are going to talk about email confirmation in Blazor authentication. So when you allow your application to be registered by a user, providing email and other credentials that you need, maybe you like to confirm the person's email to check whether it is authentic, it exists actually. So you like to send a link to the email account that the person provided. So the person will go there and click on the button being sent there to activate the email. And this mechanism is also possible in ASP.NET at the core identity. And we can implement that in Blazor authentication. That is exactly what we are doing today. So this video is going to help you to get that. But if you actually want to know how to perform this authentication and authorization, then I suggest you check a video under the description, related videos, and we have made that video over there to help us or to help you to start from scratch building an application, the Blazor application, whereby you can integrate an authentication in it and also authorization. So for that, I'm not going to go to that to explain because we've done that already in the video, so you can check that one out. What you're going to move next here is to add the email confirmation. I've already done this, so you're going to practice it and you're going to have the source code being explained. That's going to be a simple and a short video for this, okay? So let's start. Now, in order for us to achieve the aim of email confirmation, actually I can't use my Google Mail or my Yahoo Mail. No, it is not secure. So I need a fake email account to enable me to do this. And in terms of getting a fake email account, I have a site that is called the Ethereal email. So let's see, that is over this ethereal.email. So this provides a fake SMTP account where we can actually use for testing purposes. So let's navigate to that and now let's click on that button to create an account. So we have it over here, and that is the name and the username. So we can now copy this username here, and let's use this username as the sender and also the receiver, that's the user. So in here, email username, I'm going to paste this here. Then I'm going back to copy the password provided, and let's also go back here and click on this. Right, so we have this. Now let's run the application and see what we have now. So this application is going to build, and after building, we can now run this application and test this email confirmation and see if actually it's going to work. So here we can click on this, open this mail. Let's check defaultly. You can see we have no mail in. This is the default one from this Ethereal email, and it's giving us our address here. Aside from that, you have no email again in it, okay, as you can see from here. Now let's go to our application as well, and in here database, if we click on this, there is no data in here, so there's no user registered. Now if you check, you can see we have email confirmed. So when you create an account here, you're going to see false because the account or the email hasn't confirmed yet. So we're going to pass in that button or that link to the person's email. We're going to log into that account and click on that button, and this Boolean statement is going to change from false to true because from that level, account or email account is going to be confirmed. Alright, so let's see, as we have now, our application has now loaded. Let's register account. So we want to use the same email that we used to register. So let's copy this and let's paste it as our email. Now let's copy the password. So the password, let's use our own in order to confuse us. So I'm going to use QWERTY. So that is a QWERTY at 123. That is the password that we are using. QWERTY at 123. Now let's click on submit. Now you can see we have please wait. So we wait for the process to be done, and let's see the output here. Alright, so here we have an error occurred. Let's try to figure out what's actually happening here. Alright, so it might be a network issue. Now let's try to refresh application and I'll click on it again and see. So we click on it. Good. So you can see we have account created successfully. So please confirm your email by clicking the link sent. So let's see, let's navigate here. Now let's refresh our page, and so you can see we have a link sent here. That's a confirmed email account. Now as soon as we click on that, you can see we have a link here. So welcome to a Netcode website. Now this, aside from this, we have please confirm your email account by clicking on this button. Okay, so if I click on this button, let's see what's going to happen. But before that, let's check. So let's refresh our table and see the account that we have created. So that's what we used to create, and if you check, you can see we have email confirmed at false. Okay, now let's click on this button. So click on this button. Now let's see what's going to happen. So it's going to navigate us to the page, and now let's see what happens here. So we are in the login, so it means the email has now been confirmed. Let's go back here and now let's refresh our page and see what we have now. So you can see here it is true. Okay, so it means email has now confirmed, and we can log in as well. So let's try to log in here. Here's the email, and the password is a QWERTY at 123. So let's log in and see what we can actually have here. So you can see we are logged in. So hello, we have an email, we have a logout. We can access all the content with a counter. You are a user, as you can see from here, and we can still log out here. So that is the email confirmation. This is very simple mechanism to put in place to get this, and that's what you're going to take a look on the next is it the next time? No, after this introduction. Okay, so let's start now. If you want to have a vivid explanation of this, I think I've made a video within another site channel as a Netcode app channel. So maybe I'll link that site or that channel link under the description. So maybe if you want to actually have a look on the vivid explanation given, you can click on that. But this is just an overview of what we've done. Okay, so this is not going to take a much long time, and it's going to make it very simple as well. Okay, so let's see, let's go to our application. Now this is the whole thing that we have done, or I have done. The first thing that we need to do here is we have to specify this app URL, and that is the username, email host, and email password. And we did this in the app settings.json files indicated here, and this is inside the JWT demo.server. So this is a server project. That is what we are doing this in, a server project app settings.json file. So this is the localhost / and the port. Now if I run this application, you can see we have the same thing, localhost and the port. So when you call this key app URL, you are calling for this value. That's the name of the link for application. This is a fake email account, and the host is smtp.ethereum.email. When you navigate to the Ethereum site, the account that we created, the host has been specified here, and that is a port. Okay, and this is the username and the password. So that's exactly what we are doing it, or we pass the password here. So once you have this set, the next thing that you want to do here is also quite simple. We have to go to the program.cs file, and now with this program.cs file, we have to add this configure service. Now this configure service, we indicate that we want to require email confirmation. So we do that by passing this, adding this to the configuration file, that's the registration services. Okay, so we do this. Now after doing this, we have to create a confirmation token as soon as an account is being created. So we can now navigate to our controller, and now inside the account controller, this is going to help us create an account. So we first have to inject this configuration service. This is going to give us the access to app settings.json file to access the keys here. So we set up that, and we inject it, we initialize it over here. Okay, so in doing so, that's the way to inject it, as you can see. Now when we are done, this method creates the account for us. So it comes in with a model, register model, and in here we set the username and password, as you can see from here. So we set the username to the email, and we set the email to the email coming in from this model. We add a password, and then we create a new user. Now here we add the user to a user row, and also if it contains admin, we add it to the admin row. Now here, this is the most important thing that we want to talk about in this video. So in here, this is what we are doing. We are generating a generate email confirmation token. So we generate it from this user manager. We pass in the new user that is coming in. After that, the next thing to do is, you can see that this token contains maybe / underscore and additional symbol, pound key, and etc. So you have to decode it into 64. That's a base64 URL, so we can actually send it into the person's email as a link. So that's what we're doing here. We are encoding the email token, then we create a URL that's going to be sent in there. Now we are getting the configuration from this app URL, which is the localhost / port, as indicated in the app settings.json. You see we have this, the app URL. So we get that. Then the next thing that we are doing here is we are going for the API / account. So this API, as you see here, when you go to the account, the API, when you go to the account, check here, what is the route here? API and the controller name. What is the name of this controller? That is an account. Okay, so that's exactly what we pass here as an account. Then a method called confirm email. Now a method, so you see that we need to add a method that is known as confirm email, and that's what we have here. So this is a method. So it means that when the user click on that button, it's going to redirect the user to this page. Now here, this method, we need to provide 2 parameters, user ID and token, and that's what you're doing here. So user ID and token. Now this, we are using a query string, that's why we have this question mark. Then we have the user ID, we pass in the ID from the user, and we have the token, that is a valid email token generated from this statement. Aside from that, we need to create a model, and that's going to be a request data transfer object. That's what you're going to use to transfer the data from this controller or this action method to the next action method. Okay, now the one coming in here, that's this request DTO, has the following properties: to subject and message. So we need to create that. So I have a folder in here, and the name is models, and you can see we have a register, or that's a request DTO. I have to subject and message. To here, it means the receiver, the receiver's email, that's the user who is creating the account, the person's email account. Subject that you want to send, not the whole message or the link that you actually want to compose to the user. And that's exactly what we are doing it here. So you can see here we are populating these keys, these properties inside this controller. So let's account controller, and that's exactly what we are doing here. So this is the 2, and that's the person's email. Subject is confirm mail account, and now this is the message. So welcome to this NetCode site. So you can change this site to any of yours, the name that you want to pass in. So please confirm your email account by clicking on this button. Now they pass in this URL as an anchor tag. Now this anchor element, you can see it's having a href, and we pass it the URL here as the href value. So as you can see from here, there is the URL, and that's what you are passing it here. So this URL, as soon as the person clicks on that, it's going to redirect the user to the same controller by different action method known as confirmed email, as indicated here. So when you're done, we have to call the email service, and we pass in this request DTO, that's the object coming in. Then we can now return. We can check if the return here is a contained mail sent. It means it worked. Okay, so then we can return success to the controller. Okay, now this is a method that it is coming to receive the object. Now you see this link, when it clicked, is coming in with user ID and token. We have it user ID and token. Now when we get the user ID, we check if there's no white space. Then we're going to find it in the user manager to check if the ID exists. If it exists, we have to decode. Remember that the token that we generated, we've encoded it into base64 URL. So we have to decode it into a token again, so we can actually check. So we decode it here, and now we check we confirm with the email, the one that has been saved there in the user manager. If it's okay, then we confirm that. If it's successfully done, we're going to redirect the user to the app URL/login. So this app URL here means the local host and the port, and the action name or the file that we are going to navigate here is the login. So it is going to be a Razor component that we need to provide login. If not, we're going to return a bad request. So we see it's very simple, and yeah, it's very simple. If you check here, this is going to receive, this is going to issue the statement, this is going to issue the URL to be sent. Now what you have to do here is we have to call this email service. So it is going to be a service that we need to create. Okay, so this service, the first thing that we're doing here is we inject this service here on top, and that's what we are doing here. So you can see we are injecting this email service. There is an interface and an object. Now we inject that service here, and that is why we are able to use this email service. So let's create this email service. We go to our Solution Explorer. Now in here, let's see what we can do. We create a folder called service folder. Now inside the service folder, we have email service and our email service. So this is an interface, and that is the implementation class. Now with the interface, we have just send email, request ETO, we pass in an object as request. When it comes to the email service, we are going to now explain, or we're going to now have a statement or the code to perform this email sending. Now we are going to receive a request email object, and we create an object out of this. But in order to use this my message, okay, and this mailbox address, we need to install a NuGet package known as Mailkit. So go to Solution Explorer. Now under the same server project, right click on dependencies, and now we need to install that package. So manage NuGet packages, and since I have installed that already, it is found under the installed site. So here, let's see what we can do here. So let's see. So it is loading. Now let's try and see if we can have a Mailkit. So the installed one, so that's the Mailkit by Jeffrey. So we need to install this application or this NuGet package under the browse tab and install this Mailkit. Okay, so when you are done, then we have to add this to enable us to send the email. Now here we get the configuration settings from the email username, and when you go to the app settings, you can see we have the email username here, we have the password, we have the host, and now the port that we need to use is 587 as indicated, and we perform the secure socket option as start TLS. Now when we are done, we need to authenticate ourselves, because anytime that you want to send an email, you have to first log in before you can send. So we are logging in the account, we use the same email and the password. When you are done, you perform the send operation, and when it is successfully done, we return mail sent. Since it is a tax of string, we can return mail sent, and that is what exactly we are checking here. So when you go to the controller, we check if the response contains mail sent, meaning successfully done, then we can now move on with it. Okay, so this is quite simple thing that you need to do. Now when we are done, let's go back to the register component. So under the client project, under pages, register component. Now in here, this is what we do. We have to inject this JS runtime. So we inject that, and now we create a string message as empty. We add a message here to display please wait. Okay, so aside from that, the next thing that we can do here is we call the service by, after we've injected the service, register model. We pass in this register model that is being initiated here. Then the results, we check if it is successful, then we alert. So this is a js.invoke void async. We display alert. So the JavaScript type here is an alert, and we are going to display this. Here we could have used maybe notification or some packages that are going to help us to perform or to display this to the user, but we are going to use the JavaScript for this purpose. Okay, so we display this account created successfully, and please confirm your email by clicking on this. So the email by clicking on the link sent, and this is going to perform all the magic. So you can see this is very simple. So you need not to worry yourself and do all this stuff. It's very simple thing to do. Okay, so if you're confused with this, then I prefer you watch the initial video, that is how to perform authentication in Blazor. Okay, because that is where we started from, and this is just a sub of it, and just making a top up. And the source code of this is also going to be linked under the description, so you can just click on that to grab all the source code that you want. But if you want to read the explanation to details, then there's check the channel session. The channel name as a Netcode app channel. Actually, I have the same video there, but that video is a little bit longer, and we start from scratch, diving into it little by little. So that's going to actually help you if you think this isn't clear to you. Okay. The source code of this also, I'm going to leave it there, so you can also grab that and you can follow it as well. Alright, so that's the all thing that you need to do. So when you're done with it, you can now run the application, and you can see it's going to work as we did initially, as you can see from here. Okay, so very simple. Thank you guys for watching. I believe this is going to help you in your application environments. Yeah, and in case you have any issues as well, to let us know, so you may be of help as well. Thank you, and I'm going to catch you up in the next video.